Welcome, Leo, to your in-depth monthly astrology overview and zodiac forecast for June 2026 for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. Going to share the big themes of the month ahead, first of all. Then on screen, your event chart as you enter June always provides a powerful backdrop for the whole month. I'll then go through each of the influences in detail. By the end of the video, you have a clear picture of what's upcoming in terms of your energy, work, relationships, or finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. As we came to the end of May, we had a powerful full moon, the blue moon in your fellow fire sign of Sagittarius. And that was really urging you, Leo, to be in touch with what showcases your natural charisma. And if you have around some of your friendships and even time management got a little scattered, that energy is still there for the first 2 weeks of this month. So being a bit more mindful of who you spend time with or around your future direction, whether it is really helping you to showcase your brilliance, is a big issue. But also, as we enter this month, Uranus, the planet of change, the planet of freedom, is in a tense T square with the nodal axis. And maybe it is around your future plans, the value that you gain from them. For example, the North Node in the eighth house is very deeply transforming, but it's not just about shared resources, the eighth house, or where we're most invested in an intimate way. It's whether you genuinely see it is going to work for that long term. So there could be some tension from that full moon and that T square between Uranus and the nodes. But if you're very clear about your direction of travel, the Sun's link with Saturn in the first week of June can really help you not only just structure things, but actually deliver on that idea and move forwards in a very ordered way. But also on the first of the month, Mercury, the communicator, moves into the sign of Cancer for 10 long weeks. Mercury doesn't thrive in water signs. I think it's probably at its best in Scorpio because there it's very much about getting beneath the surface. But the sign of Cancer is very much about emotion, nurture. Mercury is about detachment, precision, and communication, and it moves into your 12th house where you have Venus and also Jupiter. But if there is one relationship that's not just absorbing a bit too much of your time, it isn't really right for you at all. The square between Venus and Saturn at the start of this month and Mercury moving into that 12th house can definitely give you food for thought. Ironically, even if someone did spin out of your life, by the 9th of this month, we have a delicious link between Venus and Jupiter in a conjunction. Jupiter's exalted in the sign of Cancer, and Venus can thrive here. And it may be that you could watch out for someone's body language. They may not necessarily articulate an interest in you, but some interest could be there. Now, in terms of your professional situation, if you're clear about that long-term plan, that Sun Saturn sextile at the start of the month is fabulous. But it's possible around your work that there were some tensions towards the end of May as Mars and Pluto clashed on the 26th. But Mars is in a dominant part of your chart right through to the 28th. And if you are wanting to be much more assured, visible, raising your profile, reaching out to influential people, you can still continue to do that. Just know, however, that from the 13th, Mercury does go into its pre-retrograde shadow, so be very precise in all you write and say. But on the 13th too, we have Venus move into your sign, which is delicious. It's a great opportunity for you to think about your personal identity. You may decide to give yourself a glamorous makeover, but as far as If any relationship has made way, a friendship, an association, or something closer, it really is a new beginning as Venus links back to Uranus. And there's a sense of excitement, freshness, and newness, which could be absolutely wonderful. In fact, if you do meet someone soon after then, Venus is linked back to Neptune, suggests it may be someone that you encounter through shared ideas, it may be through travel. If you're having a holiday around the second half of June, it really could be a sizzling one for sure, because Venus is then going to come into an opposition with Pluto, and you may have a fated attraction to someone indeed. But we also have on the 19th Chiron, which starts the month right on that 9th, 10th house cusp, moving into your 10th house. Chiron is a complex energy. It's going to be there for just 3 months initially before coming back next April for the longer term. Chiron can be where our superpower lies. It can be where we coach and encourage people in a fabulous way. But if you are someone who wants to showcase your talents and doesn't feel over the following 3 months that you do get the acknowledgement that you deserve, that could be quite painful. But what we can do with Chiron is to work on our inner world. Our outer reality obviously can help to define us, but if you have real belief in what you've got to offer, that can start to shine through. Now, by the 21st, we have the summer solstice. The sun moves into Cancer for 4 weeks, but also we have Cardinal Quadrant 2 starting, and that is a backdrop energy for the next 13 weeks, and it's very nurturing. And nothing wrong with that at all. You've had a lot of nurturing energy with Jupiter in the sign of Cancer over the last year. And in fact, from the 21st through to the 28th, things you have been doing behind the scenes. It may have been deep work within yourself as much as contacts you've made, but Jupiter and Mars forge a fabulous alliance, and something that's been a little bit elusive could just start to fall into place by the time of the 28th, and Mars makes its way into the vibrant energies of Gemini. But there will be Uranus. So pretty soon, towards the end of the month, there could be some surprise changes of direction and plans around your friendships, or it may be you could encounter someone you really find exciting to be with. But on the 29th, we have a full moon in Capricorn, and we also have Mercury starting its retrograde proper. The full moon for you is in a part of your chart that's very much to do with life's practicalities. Not surprising with it being in an earth sign like Capricorn, but that's very much about your physical well-being, whereas the gathering of energy in the sign of Cancer, including that Mercury retrograde, is much more psychological. So getting the good balance is important. And if you are someone who finds it a little bit more difficult to look at vulnerabilities or the shadow side of yourself or your concerns, well, I feel that if you can embrace that full moon, it's a chance to get a better alignment between that more practical sphere and your inner world. But then Jupiter arrives in your sign on the 30th for 13 long months. How fabulous is that? And that really is going to help you once the sun moves into your sign in July to really burst into fantastic form. And know once Mercury emerges from its long 10-week journey through Cancer, it's going to be in your sign. And when you have the solar eclipse on the 12th of August, Jupiter and Mercury will be with you too. And that can really showcase and invigorate your world in an incredible manner, which will make the last half of 2026 much more exciting, I personally feel, for you. I'm going to summarize those 4 areas of energy, work, relationships, and finances next, Leo. But just to say, I've reduced the price of my personal horoscope reports. It's now 3 for the price of 1. It used to be 2 with 30% off. I've reduced it because I realized that the cost of living is affecting people. And the one you pay for is your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that play out in our life, get a more intimate understanding of that energy and how to work with it better future forwards. Free, your 12 months transit forecast, but also your draconic soul karmic analysis. If your North Node in your nativity is not late in Pisces or early in Aries, your draconic chart can look very different indeed. It helps us to look at astrology, life, and ourselves in a very different way and a very profound way. Please see below for more. With that Mars right at the top of your chart, really urging you to use your confidence, conviction, and self assurance for much of the month in a dynamic way. If you've yet to check out my Mars 6 week forecast in Taurus, please watch that. If you've yet to watch your Gemini season video, please watch that. If you'd like to work with me one to one, it'd be an absolute pleasure. Please see my testimonials below. I work with people the world over. And if you've yet to take advantage of my free daily written horoscope, fired to your device each morning for your early day celestial pit stop, please do sign up for that below. I have been saying I do think people interested in natal astrology can be a bit sniffy about daily horoscopes, but if they're written well, it helps us to understand the dominant astrological energy of each day, but also we can relate to them in terms of our ascendant, sun, sidereal sun, whichever we wish. Please see below for more. So to summarize, as far as your energy is concerned, there is a delicate energy developing this month, particularly with Mercury in the 12th house. And you may find that even if you are a very dynamic person, and Leos often are, that it could be your inner world that you do need to direct some attention to, particularly with that summer solstice coming and the conjunction of Jupiter and Venus in your 12th house. But that can be a very healing energy if you lean into it. So if you are interested in personal development, courses, weekends away, retreats, meditation, mindfulness, all these things can really help your physical energy this month. But as far as your work is concerned, if you are in a role which does allow you to showcase your leadership skills and helps you to shine as far as your determination is concerned, but you can also work collaboratively with others, I think it could be a very good month. If, however, you work in a situation where you're not quite so sure, particularly of your colleagues, that can show up quite strongly through that full moon on the 29th of the month in the sign of Capricorn. As far as your relationships are concerned, well, that Venus Jupiter conjunction in the 12th house could point towards a very confidential discussion or connection. It may be a link back to someone from your past, but with Pluto in that 7th house, it is a time of great change. And as May came to a close, you may have had quite a clash with someone, not necessarily romantically, but if there has been a bit of a battle for who's on top in an existing relationship, the collaboration of these guys in Gemini back to the position of Pluto suggests if you have friendship in your relationship as well as attraction, that's really going to be a good thing. Now, as far as your finances are concerned, Venus is the planet of money, and it may be something you've been doing behind the scenes over the last year that can come back to you this month. But I think when Venus moves into your zodiac sign and then moves forwards and squares off with Mars later on this month, that could be a time when your charm and personality power do actually win you quite a big breakthrough in that regard. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Leo. All the best for June and see you again soon.